Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to another Sims 4 speed build video. Now if you're new here, all you need to know is that I like building in The Sims 4, so if that's something you like to watch then please stick around and make sure to hit the subscribe button as well if you'd like to see more. So anyway, on with today's video. So today we're building a smaller, more simple lot compared to the last few that I've uploaded. Now with the release of Snowy Escape being so close, I really wanted to build some kind of vacation, like holiday home. Now when Island Living first came out, I really didn't play it that much at all. I only really looked at it once and I realised that there really isn't much to do in this world. It's a really gorgeous world, like no one can deny how good the world looks. But I remember just going straight into the sea because that's obviously why you want this pack, is to do the swimming in the ocean. I remember sending my sim out and telling them to dive, and then they just disappeared below the water, and I was like, this is really like the main gameplay of the pack, and it really like left a sour taste in my mouth and I just never really came back to it. But there are loads of really cool items and it does look really good, so I'm hoping that with the update with the vacation lots, I'm really hoping that it breathes new life into this pack, because I feel like that's what this was missing for me. Because when I play, I usually just play families in like suburban places. Now I know a lot of people live in places like this in real life, but I know that a lot of people don't have that luxury. So I think having the option at least of vacationing here would make this pack so much better, and I feel like that's what this update is going to do. I feel like it's going to add to this pack what it was missing in the first place. So with that in mind, I really wanted to build a simpler home for like 1 or 2 Sims to come on vacation, maybe like a little honeymoon retreat type thing. So I've tried to keep it quite small and compact, and I think it's got quite an intimate vibe. Like it's an open floor plan, but it's also not completely open to the point where it doesn't feel cozy anymore. So to begin with, I was really thinking I wanted the bedroom area to be like the main draw of the build. So I really wanted to make the most of the ocean view out of the back of the build. So where I wanted the bedroom to be the main draw, I made sure to have the double bed facing towards the ocean out the back of the lot. So you'll see that the bedroom area of the lot is very open with those big wide windows, and the front of the lot is a bit more closed off, just when you want a bit more privacy, like at night time when you're cozying up or whatever. So that's the main floor plan pretty much done. I do end up expanding the bathroom quite a lot, because at this point I was thinking I wanted to keep everything like small scale, but then you'll see when I got to the bathroom and actually started building it, I was really struggling to come up with a layout that looked nice. Like it just all looked really basic, and I thought if you're going away on a nice holiday, you're going to want somewhere with the nice hot tub, the nice bedroom, but you also like there's something nice about a really nice luxurious bathroom. So I ended up expanding it out to the side a bit more, just to give a bit more space so you can have a bigger bathtub in there, and I was actually really happy with how the bathroom turned out. So normally when I build, I tend to go around on like a room by room basis, but with this, where I haven't really played Island Living a lot, I just kept seeing different objects which I thought, oh, this would go well in here and this would go well in the bedroom, and I just kept like flicking between rooms. But I'm trying to focus on the bathroom at least here, and you can just see it just looks rubbish. And I feel like it's also because those wood panels are everywhere. So I wanted to keep those wood panels around the build as much as possible, just to keep the whole like island, tropical island feel to the entire build. But then as I went on building, I realised it doesn't really work as well in the bathroom. Like I'm sorry if it's not very accurate to real life, but I just wanted the bathroom in this build to look really nice and special, whereas at the moment it's just looking quite dark and dingy, and that really is not the vibe that you want when you're going away on a honeymoon. So I did end up putting tiles in there instead, and I'm not really sure how that works like in real life, how that would work with like the structure of this build, but I think it looks good anyway. So I'm just trying out loads of different items at this point, just to look for ways to soften up the space around the bedroom area, just because at the moment there's a lot of wood going on in there, and I thought I need to add some plants just to make it feel a bit more tropical, but I also wanted to add more like soft furnishings like curtains and stuff just to make it feel a bit cozier. So you'll see I just add a rug underneath the bed, but then I'm also really pleased with how the bed area turns out. So at the minute you can see the bed's just kind of sitting there in the middle of the room against that one wall, just kind of floating. And I kind of wanted to make it feel a bit more intimate there, so I didn't want it to have such empty space around it. So I tried putting these walls in, but then I thought that seems a bit too closed off, whereas I want to keep the like open feel to it. So I add in these half walls, which I think really give like a good balance between the two. And the other advantage to that is it was an extra space where I could add more greenery to the room to help soften it up. So this build is really quite away from my comfort zone. So when my channel's quite new still, you'll see the videos that I've uploaded so far with the suburban and the industrial builds, they're more in line with what I would usually tend to build in The Sims. So this, although it's nice to have, I usually just don't tend to build this myself, so it was actually quite fun trying something different for a change. And it has kind of made me want to go back to the island living pack just to see what I've missed out on, because I'm sure there's so much more to it than what I've actually seen. I think out of all of the expansion packs it must be my least played one, because I just had no interest in it. So I'm not really fussed about mermaids. I don't really care about the conservation of the beaches. Yeah, I get that it's an important thing in real life, but in The Sims I don't want to spend all my time cleaning the beaches. And other than that, there's not really any features about this pack that draw me in, so that's where I'm hoping with the whole vacationing aspect, like just being able to visit this world for like a couple of sim days, I think will really have a different feel to it than actually having your Sims live here. But I think that's true not only for this pack, but I'm hoping it will affect all of the packs that have been released. So you'll see here is where I'm desperately trying to get this bathroom to look nice, and it is just not happening. It just looks so bad, and it's because I was trying to keep in with the like wooden aesthetic that was going on. So then I thought, well, I'll try adding some tiles in, and then I thought, well, this is looking nicer, but then the size of it just doesn't match the style of the room, like the luxurious feel. So then I had to have a bit of a break, and then when I came back to it, I realised I'm just going to have to scrap this and completely replan the shape of the room. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just expanding the walls out to the side more, adding some more windows in to get a bit more light in there, and I'm just shifting the furniture around just to try and work out what layout would be best really. So I do eventually move the door over to the left a bit more, because I was originally thinking from a convenience point of view, I just thought it'd be quite nice to have the door lead in from the bedroom area rather than the living area. But then with the layout that the bathroom was, it just makes more sense to have it coming in from the living room. And where the rest of the build is so open, it really doesn't actually make that much difference to the outside of the bathroom. So I really wanted to have that corner bath in here, but I just didn't think it looked that nice in that corner. So I ended up adding it on a diagonal, so it's kind of straight on in the room, and then I just add some half walls to the side of it just to make it look quite cool with some plants either side. I also didn't know where to put the toilet, so here's where I started thinking it needs to be a bit more private, because people can just see straight through those windows towards the toilet. But I do eventually swap the bath and the toilet over, and I add an extra diagonal wall in where the bath is at the moment, and that just gives the toilet a bit of privacy, and it also gives an area to hang some bathrobes up there, and I just think it adds an extra little finishing touch to the room that just makes it feel that bit more luxurious. So you'll see I really struggled to find the right kind of tile that I wanted in this room, because I wanted it to fit in with the rest of the build but also look a bit nicer than the rest of the build. So I ended up settling just with the standard spa day stuff, which I usually use in so many builds, but I just think it's so nice, like it's hard not to use it. So you'll see I've pulled that back wall back a bit more just to give way more space around the bath, but I thought it looks a bit lost there, so that's where I add in these little half walls, and they really make it look like a proper fitting, like it was made to be there. And here you can see how I've tucked the toilet away a bit more, so that you're not just in full view of all those windows that are now everywhere. Now I know that the bath is kind of exposed to all the all the windows, but I feel like that's not as bad as having the toilet for some reason. You may disagree, but I'm adding the plants around there so they kind of help hide the view. And then we just add some little candles in just to help create a nice romantic atmosphere for those Sims on their romantic getaways. So the other reason that I wanted to build a lot like this is because here in the UK we've just gone into another lockdown because of COVID, and the weather has just started to turn a little bit colder, and I'm not a huge fan of winter. I much prefer summer and autumn, and I feel like we're getting towards the end of autumn now, so I just really wanted to hold on to those summer vibes a bit longer and create a lot that was in just a really nice bright sunny world. So you'll see I'm just playing around with that standalone wall in the middle there because I thought I wanted to make it look a bit more like a big feature, but then whatever I added to it didn't look quite right, so I've just kept it how it was, and I've just added some curtains there just to soften it up a bit and also kind of hide the view from outside, but they don't exactly look like the most private curtains. I also wasn't really sure what to put up the top there, so I've just kind of gone for a tropical painting just to keep in with the theme of everything else. So I'm just adding the final touches to the room, and I really wanted to bring the wood back into it, so I've kind of put a bit of wood around the bathtub, but then I kept the tiled floor and the tiled walls around the toilet and the sink area. So I'm just going around the outside of the build now, adding some final finishing touches because I thought it looked like it could just use a bit more excitement outside, so I'm just going around adding little touches like these columns just to make it look a bit more finished and structured. And I also go back to the bedroom because I thought where the bed was, it was very close to the doors leading out to the balcony at the back. So now we're moving back inside the build towards the kitchen area. So I wanted to keep the kitchen fairly basic in this build because I thought the real draw of going away on vacation somewhere is that you go out for dinner or just generally don't spend that much time cooking yourselves. So I didn't want it to be anything too extravagant, but I just thought it's nice to have the option of cooking something while you're there. And again, it maintains the feel of openness and being really in keeping with the rest of the lounge area. So I do add like a bit of a wall divider in between the lounge and the kitchen, but that's towards the end of the build just because I thought it needed something just to make the room look a bit more interesting. But right now I'm just moving on to the living area, and I didn't really want any of the build to be too extravagant because I thought when you're in this world you're going to spend the majority of your time outside. So I've made the bedroom area and the bathroom area really nice, but I wanted to keep these areas looking nice, but I really wanted them to be quite basic. So all it is just a few chairs, a TV. To be honest, living areas aren't my favourite area to build in The Sims. I feel like bedrooms and bathrooms are way more interesting, but with the lounges and dining areas, I just, for some reason, find them harder to make look interesting. I think once the platforms update is out, where you can make sunken living areas or raised dining areas or whatever, I feel like that will be really useful, and I'll probably end up making quite a few crazy builds where there's just loads of different levels just for the sake of it, but I feel like a lot of people are going to do that just because we haven't had it for so long. So we're just coming up towards the end of the build now, so I'm just going to put that final wall divider in the middle here, and I think that really just adds a final finished touch because it kind of gives the feel of a hallway running down the middle of the build, but it also allows the room to maintain that sense of openness, and you can really see here the sense of flow as you move from one room to the next, and I really like how it's segregated into the different parts so you can be in separate areas of the build but still feel together. So I think by the time this video is uploaded, the new update should be out, which will allow for platforms and sentiments, loads of bug fixes and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on the platforming tool. So I think my next build is going to be another short, simple, sweet one. So I'm thinking of maybe just doing a simple starter home using the new platform tool, just so I can see what I can come up with. So if you like this build, make sure to stick around, keep an eye on the channel to when I upload my new video, which will hopefully be within the next week or so. So now you can really get a good sense of the bedroom and the bathroom areas. And I really like the bathroom area actually. It's really nice and open, loads of space in here, so it has that real luxurious feel for when you're away on your honeymoon. So now we're just coming up to our last view, which shows you the back of the build, and here you can get a really good view of that really nice private hot tub area. So once your Sims are finished chilling in the hot tub, it's just a short walk to the double bed there, which has that great view looking out the back over the ocean. But that is pretty much it for today's build, so if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and comment down below, and please subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Like I said earlier, I'm planning on uploading another video in the next week or so, but until then I hope you all have wonderful weeks, and I'll catch you all next time.